All right, how's it going, everybody? It is time to podcast today. It's not an interview. It's not a tier rank. It's not a season 41, analysis. It's just me and Adam, and we're talking about what Survivor means to us and our Survivor stories. As you know, we are big fans of the show, and some of you guys may know me.
Buffs, so
Some
to
of you
speak.
guys Yes, yeah, buffs, so to speak. Yeah, some of you guys may know me, some of you guys may know Adam. But do you really know why we are such big fans of the show? What our journey has been like? I call my journey a roller coaster. I think Adam can say the same thing. And today we're going to talk about what our Survivor fandom journey was.
Absolutely. But first,
But first,
I as a survivor buff, as it says in the name,
that is
I
us, yes.
am a little embarrassed because I don't actually own a buff of my own as many
Oh,
diehard fans or buffs, so to speak, have. Gideon, how many buffs do you have?
I think I'm at like 11. I think I have like 11 buffs, yeah.
Okay. All from all different seasons?
All different seasons. Yeah, all different seasons. Yes. And my
Okay.
siblings have like 3 each, but I kind
Okay.
of went on a spending spree for a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got my first buff. If you are a member of the Discord, you would already know what it is. So if you're watching this and you want to talk Survivor with us during the off season, in between episodes as it eventually starts to air, or just talk with other Survivor buffs, go ahead and join the Survivor Buffs Discord. The link will be in the description,
PogChamp.
as well as subscribe because we have
Yes.
some really cool interviews coming up. We have three, I'm not going to say who, we have three really big interviews lined up for September because September is going to be 4 Wednesdays. And on the fourth Wednesday is the premiere of season 41.
Woohoo!
On the first Wednesday, we have a big interview. Second Wednesday, we have an even bigger interview. Probably our biggest interview yet is that second Wednesday. Third Wednesday, another really big interview. Three all-time fan favorites. So subscribe so you don't miss the notification for that. But here's the big reveal of my first buff. It is the Borneo merge buff.
Yeah.
Had to start with number one. So ignore my hair. I'll go ahead and throw it on. I haven't washed it yet, so it's probably not going to smell the best. But how do you wash buffs?
You don't.
You
You
wash?
don't wash. No. No,
Okay.
you don't wash. If
They
you
said it
wash
was basic.
above, nah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it'll get damaged. And bro, like these, like pretty expensive. Like I ain't washing it.
Yeah. Dude, Borneo. I mean, Borneo merge buff. How much did you pay for yours?
Oh, dude, no, I got this when they were on the CBS store still.
Oh wow.
Like they were like selling like all kinds of buffs. I think I got it for Christmas back in like 2012. So like I think back then they were like selling them for not for pretty
Wow.
cheap. Now
Oh
they're
man.
rare. Yeah, now they're really
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah. I don't even see any. Like when I go to eBay and stuff, I
Yeah.
never see Borneo. I found a collector online, who I have to shout out them real
Oh,
quick. I
are
found
you?
this
Did you
collector
promise to
online.
shout them out?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Shout them
I
out.
did. I have it up here. Stellar Flips. So look up
Stellar
Stellar
Flips.
Flips.
Look up Stellar Flips. He or she will give you great buffs.
Yeah, plenty of buffs. I think he's selling like an autographed Colby Donaldson Australian Outback buff. So check that one. He
Ooh.
give me a great deal on this buff. Like really great deal. But okay. We're talking Survivor Journeys. Join the Discord, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. But for now, we make this a quick episode. We're not going to do a tier rank, nothing crazy. Quick episode. We're just going to talk about what got us into the show, kind of the ups and downs of the show. Gideon, you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I started with Winners of War. I'd never even heard of the show before then. I brand new. That's it. All right, Gideon.
All right, so me, I started at Island of the Idols, and that's it. Wow,
I,
that was quick.
I, yeah. So my parents watched the show. First of all, I was 4 when Survivor aired, and I swear I remember like Rudy and Sue. I like vaguely remember Jenna and Amber because they were Pittsburgh natives, and if you don't know, I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. There's like people that I vaguely remember watching with my parents, but it was on at 8, I believe, and my bedtime was 8 till I was like, I don't even know how old. The first season, I remember like Tom doing like the pole challenge at the end. I remember all that, but the first season that I like truly remember like sitting down and watching every episode air was Guatemala, believe it or not. And I liked Guatemala because as a kid, if I wasn't watching that, I was watching SpongeBob and all the thing with these created like absolutely crazy characters. And Guatemala had Judd and had Jamie and had Bobby John. So seeing these like crazy guys out there, Hogaboom, but then also seeing like Danny, and Stephanie. It was a lot of characters on that season, so I think maybe that, I don't know what it was that hooked me. I also liked how camp was like inland and was at this pyramid, and I liked the idol. I thought that was a cool thing that they added. Guatemala was like the first season that I watched, and like really was into it. I remember going through the next couple seasons. I might have missed 1 or 2. I don't remember like Fiji that well, and I feel like I might have missed. I remember like Parvati winning vaguely. I remember Cook Islands and Ozzy and Yule. But the season where and Tocantins was the first Gabon I liked. Believe it or not, I was a Gabon fan when it aired. I like slowly liked it less and less. But Tocantins, I remember. I mean, Coach going to Exile Island. How can you not forget? Is that a Gabon buff?
No, I have my Gabon buff over there.
Oh, that's your Borneo buff. Oh,
same. We're wearing the same buff. We're wearing the same buff.
Yeah. Tocantins, I remember rooting for Fishback really hard. It was a huge. He was like the first guy I like was really rooting for. But I also liked JT too. So seeing them in the final 2 was great. But man, the season where I'm like, I'm not missing another episode was, I mean, when Samoa aired. I remember like Wednesday, I don't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday nights at the time, but I remember telling everyone, leave me alone at 8. I'm going up to my room. I'm grabbing something. I'm grabbing popcorn, grabbing a soda. I'm watching Samoa glued to my screen. Same with Heroes and Villains. After that, Nicaragua, Redemption Island. I feel like One World. I watched the Dark Ages, as we call it, but stopped watching after Cambodia. Watched it all the way up to Cambodia. Stopped. So I didn't see Millennials and Gen X. I just literally completely stopped after Millennials and Gen X. I had heard that there was this fire making thing, not because I didn't like it anymore. It was just like, I'd seen it so many years consecutive. I mean, since Guatemala, I didn't, like I said, I might have missed Fiji and one other, but since like Gabon, I missed no seasons airing live. I kept wanting to come back, mainly due to my grandma. Actually, was a huge. My grandma hadn't missed one episode since Hatch first arrived on the beach in Borneo. I mean, she watched every live episode. She watched every Ponderosa, every exit interview. She consumed any content she could. And she would call me every couple months, wish me happy birthday. And we'd chit chat for a minute or two, but then like 50 minutes of our 1 hour call would be talking about the season. So she would be like, you got to watch Millennials and Gen X. There was this crazy thing with this guy's mom. And she was like, you got to watch Game Changers. None of them were Game Changers, but it was still a great winner. And she was like, this is fire making thing. It's like, you got David and Goliath, amazing season. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. But I was in college right when Millennials and Gen X started. I started college, and that took so much time away. What happened was, my grandma passed, so she just passed away recently, a little over a year ago, and she had gone into I won't get too into it, but she got into a surgery that didn't go well, and she didn't make it out of the surgery. But I called her right before the surgery to wish her good luck, and right before she went in, she was like, "You still promise me you're gonna rewatch it again?" So I was like, "Yeah, I promise I'll watch it," and then that was it. Then we hung up. So literally the last words that I ever spoke to my grandma, ever and ever will, was, "I promise I'll watch the show again." So I was like, "Oh well, now I got to do it." So that was literally a month before Island of the Idols aired. So Island of the Idols was my comeback season, as it I think was with yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Wow, this season stinks," but I missed like I remembered why I fell in love with it at the start. So I watched Millennials and Gen X up till Island of the Idols. And then rewatched some. I was like, "Oh, I rewatched Redemption Island. I rewatched Samoa, Heroes and Villains, Pearl Islands, all my favorite seasons." And then I watched Winners at War live. So that is, and now I'm hooked. I mean, because after Winners at War, I had reached out to Russell Hantz and I started doing videos for him. I did the top 100 survivors. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out on Russell's channel. I got to interview about 100 survivors, so it's super lucky opportunity there. And after going through that, it's just I'm hooked for life. Like I'm not missing another episode. And now I'm hosting a Survivor podcast with my good pal Curly Daddy 101. So let's hear your story.
I know, and dude, not only have you, I was about to say, like, you took your promise to your grandmother and just absolutely demolished it. Because not only did you rewatch Survivor, you got to know these actual survivors, and now have a podcast in which you interview them and know them and all that stuff.
And if I hadn't made her that promise, if I hadn't made that phone call, all those things hadn't aligned, I wouldn't gotten to do all the fun stuff I got to do.
I know, being here now. I know now it's epic. Now it's awesome. For me, I'm a little younger. I wasn't born until I was a Survivor Thailand baby. So I've been cursed from birth. I was born during Survivor Thailand. I was born in June. That's when Thailand aired. So yeah. But my dad has been a fan since Hatch landed, and he applied for season 2, I think, and he kept on applying for like another 10 seasons, and then unfortunately gave up. We're gonna get him back to auditioning again, but that's a story for another day. So I've been watching literally since I was a little baby. But the first season I remember Samoa. I think that's the first one I remember. So that's the first season I can vividly remember watching. Heroes versus...
A lot of people our age are like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of young people, Samoa's would hook them.
Yeah, Samoa hooked me, and then also Heroes versus Villains right after that was just like even more. And then I was just hooked. It was after church. Survivor was during church for us. My dad was a preacher, and so we would miss it being live, and we would come back after church, wouldn't look at our phones because we were afraid of spoilers, like wouldn't look at the internet, like, and then we'd go home and just watch it, crank through it, and then talk about it. And that trend kept on going until Ko Wrong, I think. And then after Ko Wrong, I think we all kind of stopped, and it never really became a family affair. We actually stopped watching a lot of reality TV as a family just because we all got busy. I had Boy Scouts a lot. I had sports almost every night. Same with my dad. Like, we're just a family full of athletes, and I also do theater. So like, we were just busy every night. We got to be so busy that we didn't have time for Survivor anymore. And frankly, we weren't really too happy with Ko Wrong. Like, we were all cheering for Aubrey, and we just were all just we were all so peeved off that Michelle won. So we just kind of stopped, I think. And so like, I didn't watch Cambodia. I didn't watch Game Changers. I didn't watch none of that crap. The first time I watched it was on my rewatch over quarantine, which is crazy to think about. because I
Jeez.
really did love Survivor so much. Yeah, for real. I know I'm like a baby when it comes to all this, but one day, because of quarantine, they were running. We had Island of the Idols recorded, because while we weren't watching Survivor anymore, we still recorded it. So Island of the Idols was still in our recording for our cable TV. Well, one day Dad was like, I came downstairs and Dad was watching like episode 2 of like Island of the Idols, and I was like, bro, like, are you watching Survivor? He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'll watch it with you. So then like we all sat down and watched the episode 2, and we were like, wow, like we missed this. Like we missed Survivor. Like and I thought Island of the Idols was actually a good season, other than Dan. But I actually enjoyed it. And so, and of course, we're just a Boston Rob like fan club. My family is, so we love that. And so we just kept on watching. We actually got through the entire season within a 24-hour period as a family, because we were locked in our own home and we just kept on cranking through it. And it was awesome. And the weirdest thing happened. The recording cut out for us because there was a tornado warning. So the news took over instead of announcing the winner. In the recording, right as the final tribal council was ending. So we didn't know who won. So I had to look up who won the season and then have my whole family guess who was the winner. So like my whole family, except for my dad, thought that Dean had won. And
wow.
And Dad was the only person that picked Tommy, and I was like, Dad's right, Tommy won. And we were like, yeah. So after that, we were all hooked, all ready to watch. So we watched Winners at War together, and as we were watching Winners at War, I think right after that, or maybe it was a little during, like at the end, I started my rewatch of Survivor. I went through all 40 seasons in under a month, I think, maybe just a little over, I think. But I was going through like a season. I was going through literally like a season and a half in a day, because like I had nothing to do over quarantine. And now, if you guys don't know why, if you just watch me from the Survivor buffs, I got a little TikTok fame over quarantine. I amassed like 3 million followers on TikTok. And because of that, I was like, maybe I could take a crack at getting to know some of the survivors I like. Well, I was subbed to Russell on YouTube, and I saw after the top 100 that they were looking for people to be a part of, the Russell Hands network that never came to be. So I sent an email to Adam, and we got to know each other, and now we got this podcast. And because of being on TikTok and all that, I got to know a lot of survivors that were also on TikTok. So that was my story. That Adam has his way of getting to know the survivors. TikTok was my way of getting to know the survivors. Lots of fun. But I mean, my story, I don't feel like there's anything too special about it, but I think it's interesting that me and you both got back into Survivor with Island of the Idols. That's crazy to me. But hey, I thought it was a good season, so sue me.
Yeah, it's not a bad season. Contrary to popular belief, it's just one of those seasons that just had one really bad thing that just was going to overshadow the rest.
Yeah, it overshadows, but it actually has a good cast, I think. If you take out Dan, it was pretty entertaining. I mean, very wild. My dad was in love with Elaine. I liked Elaine too. I think Elaine and Janet. We both liked Elaine and Janet and Lauren. So yeah. But I think it's so weird that like I was thinking back and I was like, wow, I never did see Cambodia. Like I never watched Cambodia. And I was like, how did I let myself miss that? And like I never saw David versus Goliath. Like I didn't know who won. Until my rewatch. Obviously I knew who won because Winners at War spoiled almost everything for me on my rewatch. Like I already knew who won pretty much everything. But I still wanted to watch, like, because obviously Winners at War spoiled a lot of the seasons for me because I hadn't watched the seasons up to it.
Right.
I had only watched 20 through 30, really, I guess. So, but I knew that Hatch had won. I knew that Tina had won, all that.
When you say you watched with your family, Who do you mean? Who all is included in that?
My mom, my two sisters, my brother, my dad.
Oh, okay.
The
And
whole
everyone
house.
thought Dean except your dad.
Everybody was convinced that Dean had won. I don't know why.
Wow.
Everybody in my family thought that Dean had won the thing.
No Nora fans out there?
No. I was on the fence. I didn't actually know who won. I was like, Dean had a really good edit on like the final episodes, and I was like, I mean, yeah. And like, I don't know. I would have liked to see Tommy's social game a little more if he was a winner. I'm sure he played it. I just didn't see a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. What's your guys' journey with Survivor? Let us know in the comments or in the Discord.
Or in the Discord. That's right.
Or both.
Or both.
So like I said, guys, thanks for watching this episode. We have some big, at least 3 big interviews coming up between now and the premiere. We're going to be recapping the premiere. Got a bunch of stuff coming once Survivor comes back. So subscribe now so you don't miss all of it.
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Stay thirsty.